The number of women raped or sexually assaulted in taxis in Johannesburg recently has risen to 9.
A police manhunt is continuing for a number of criminals who pick women up in quantum minibus taxis. Various taxi associations have now increased patrols at 8 of the identified hotspots.
Like, what are we supposed to wear as women? I really don't understand. You cannot just be harassed and followed for just wearing what you like, wearing your bum short and your crop top, and just be harassed for wearing that. I mean, that's, I don't know, maybe there's something wrong with this man, you know. I don't know. Because honestly,
country by initiating need-based interventions, starting with a national-wide safety in public transport campaign that we want to see reach every vulnerable commuter using public transport, whether it is taxis, buses, or trains in the country. And with this, we look forward to the Department of Transport and the Department of Women, Youth, and Persons with Disabilities and other stakeholders working closely with SBOs and civil society organizations to realize the delivery of safety in public transport in South Africa. We also encourage the departments with us here today to work more closely with civil society organizations and social justice experts to address the issue more effectively and efficiently, and that both departments work towards fast-tracking the implementation of the NSP on GBV and also realizing the National Taxi Lekgotla 2020 declaration recommendations that we proposed on addressing sexual violence and harassment and gender-based violence and femicide in the public transport industry,
In terms of gender-based violence, I'm sure you'd have seen the videos that had the video that has gone viral from Nelspruit, and we have engaged with Mpumalanga, and I'm glad that part of the plans between the two deputy ministers actually is to go to Mpumalanga, amongst other issues, is to look at the issues of shelters, but also there was an issue of the two young women who had dressed as they chose to dress, and a man had decided to videotape them and follow them around in town, and then of course into the taxi rank. And as they were walking around, one was wearing short shorts and the other one was wearing a short dress. And as they were being followed around, a lot of people followed them, mostly men. And the one lady's dress, the one young woman's dress, was lifted up as they were walking. So they were violated in every sense of the way, in every possible way. Their human rights were violated, their dignity was violated. There were young women who had agency in terms of them choosing to present themselves as they chose. And in terms of the work that we'd like to do with the Department of Transport and the taxi industry as a whole, is actually having the education and the awareness that we're raising to say women need to be safe in and around taxi ranks. And so we are really wanting to do this 365 days of the year. So that covers our youth and our persons with disability. But in terms of women empowerment, the issue that we were addressing with the taxi industry was around widows, that as taxi owners, which is still a predominantly male industry, is that as the men pass away, the women who choose to take over the business are finding it difficult, and that they do need to be assisted in ensuring that they can have an easier passage in taking over the business. So that women empowerment aspect is very useful, but also that women who just want to enter the industry, not having to wait for a man to pass away for them to take over the industry, that they should be able to do that. Deputy Minister, as we were preparing for 16 days of activism, we were in Port Alfred, and we had actually engaged the 43 Air School. And as we look forward to your engagement with your SOEs in partnership with the Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, because one of the issues that the aviation space was looking at is the licensing of pilots and the renewal of pilot licenses. So we're really looking forward to working with yourselves as a department broadly, yes, on gender-based violence, but on the transport industry as a whole, and how it can work towards women's socioeconomic empowerment, and also the empowerment of young people, as well as those with disabilities. I'd like to, I think the Deputy Minister of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, Professor Mhlengi Mkhize, had done a very good job in terms of anchoring us on the National Strategic Plan, particularly the two pillars that we're focusing on during the 16 days, which is the social cohesion and the rebuilding of our social fabric of society. And I think between the webinar we will have with the SOEs and the Mpumalanga a visit that the deputy ministers are planning, we should be able to work on that. On the aviation side of issues and on the issue of the taxi ranks and the empowerment of women, we should be able to cover Pillar 5, which is a women's economic power within the Department of Transport.
Of course, they always wait for us at the pickup points.
I don't think it's safe, because at some times men here are intimidating, especially if you wear something that is they see as inappropriate.
Well, because like the drivers, they're very intimidating, hey? And I feel like you don't have a say, especially when it comes to the dress code, or maybe you don't like.
I felt that the only place that is safe in South Africa is a taxi rank. I still don't, trust these governmental offices like your police stations, your Home Affairs office, and anything like that. Because firstly, when you go to those offices, you don't get help, even if you're saying there's somebody who's following me, he wants to abduct me or do anything like that. And in most cases, our very own police officers are involved in all these kidnapping, human trafficking cases and all those things. So you cannot trust people who are involved in all those places. So if now the only people that I personally trusted are starting to do this whole thing, where are we going to run to if maybe a car is chasing you and the people inside the car wants to abduct you? What are we supposed to do?